Okay, hello everyone. Good evening. I am perfectly audible to everyone, audible and visible, right? Okay. So, in the last video, we are discuss about the strategy of the paper, GS paper 4, right? And we left the topic, uh, we left the video where we can try to discuss about the section A and section B of the ethics paper, right? We already discussed about there is a two section in our paper, that is section A. Section A is talking about the theoretical portion, right? And section B is talking about the case study. So now in this video lecture, we are going to discuss about this two section strategy, right? How we can write or what is our strategy to write the answer in section A, that is the theoretical portion, and what is the section B and how we can approach, what is our strategy to write the section B questions, right? Section B questions mainly consist of case study question, right? So and again, congratulations to those who cleared the prelims, sorry, who cleared the UPSC 2020 exams. Heartily congratulations to everyone who cleared this exam and who are not. So don't worry about that. This exam will not is means it's not final. It's not your destiny, right? This exam is not your destiny. So just believe in yourself. Try for the next exam, right? This is the things for you, right? Okay, let's move to the main portion, that is our strategy. Yes, regarding the notes, because video is like sometime maybe it become monotonous because I am only talking right here, so maybe it becomes monotonous, so don't worry about it. This is the strategy, right? So there is a no notes to share with you, right? Because the strategy is very practical, right? So that's the practical thing I'm sharing with you. It may be slightly changed according to your comfortable, right? But I'm just giving you the information about the paper in this 2 3 lectures. Rest coming lectures you will get the notes where I can discuss with you, or I can teach you through the notes. Particularly, I will provide you the PDF, I will provide you the PPT notes, right? And even I will show you that whiteboard where you can where I can explain you the things. So through that you are able to make your notes. But this lecture is based on a strategy, so I think there is a no need of the notes, right? Okay. So let's move to the our next part, that is our strategy part, right? So in this lecture we are going to discuss about the answer writing strategy. In answer writing strategy, I already told you there is a two section, section A and section B, right? So let's talk about the section A. Basically section A is a theoretical portion. In theoretical portion, generally it includes 12 to 13 question for 10 marks each, right? So amounting to 120 to 130 marks, right? So it includes 12 to 13 question of 10 marks each and amounting to 120 to 130 marks. And this is a very theoretical question, right? The same pattern we can follow in this question, which we are following in the GS paper 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so these are to be answered in 150 words because it is a 10 marks question. So we answer to be 150 words and 2 pages are provided to the same. Okay, uh, 10 marker question should ideally be answered within a 7 minutes. This is the ideal time. Okay, miss, you should try to finish your one answer in 7 minutes. This is the ideal time, right? um, few students take 9 minutes also, so it's totally depend on your practice, right? But the ideal time is 7 minutes to finish one question. Okay. Okay, question may be analytical, okay, or at times of theoretical. So you expect both type of question, analytical and theoretical. Okay, so answer in ethics can be written both in paragraph. If you are comfortable with the paragraphs, go with the paragraphs. Okay, and if you are comfortable with the points, like points based on the demand type of questions, right? Demand of the questions. So ideally the answer basically includes or we can say the structure of the answer, like introduction. Here we can give the here we can give the keyword introduction, right? Like terms mentioned in the question shall be given in 2 to 3 lines. So this is the introduction part. Now come to the answer body or main body part, we can say, right? So it can be in a point or a paragraph. This body part, it may be in a point or in a paragraph. And what's matter is that a various dimension get covered so that the answer is a multi-dimensional in this area, right? And answer written in a points, bullets points, or handles the dimension much more easily. When you go with the um, bullets points, it's easy to it easy to handle the dimension. Okay, and compared to one in a paragraph where the risk of disgracing with the question is high most of the time, right? Because we forget about the things when we are going to write in a paragraph most of the time, right? But in a points wise we are able to understand that okay, this is the point is done, this point is done, so there is a need of the 5 to 6 point only in this section with the multiple dimension. So it's become easy rather than a paragraph. Okay. Now, if I'm talking about the theory, so theory or thinkers or the term mentioned in the syllabus shall be incorporated in your answer. This help in keeping the answer ethical, right? And theory should ideally make a maximum 20% of an answer. Overdoing theories keyword make answer mechanical. Right? Don't make it mechanical. uh, should we add an example or not in our answer? So definitely you can mention the example, or generally it is mentioned in the question in a most of the time quote based example, right? So in such a question, write a two example, while in question where example has not explicitly asked, one should still write at least one example so that through this example you can explain your thought in a simple way, right? What about diagram? Should we mention the diagram in our answer or not? So regarding this, these are the important to gain the edge over the other candidate. This is the main motive, right? So diagram provides the X factor that the examiner is looking for. Okay, so they also break the monotony and make for the better presentation. Even it's give the idea to the examiner that we are going to cover these things in our answer. Getting the point? And it also give the dynamic look of your answer. So that is very important. If you are good in diagram, mention that. If you are not good in diagram, you can mention the flow chart in your answer. Okay. Now, the last is conclusion. So conclusion, it is an important as an introduction. If you are not writing conclusion in your answer, so it means you are not getting a good enough marks, because see, this pattern is very important: intro, main body, example, diagram, conclusion. So this is the structure of an answer, right? So this is very important. You should mention this structure, like in our 9th 10th class, there is a structure of writing a letter, and in section we can get the marks, right? So in the same manner in the UPSC exam also, the answer structure is, I'm sorry, the answer structure is very important. You should maintain the structure in your answer. So now come to the conclusion. So in conclusion, do not skip the conclusion in a hurry to jump into the next question. Just summarize the answer in 2 to 3 lines, right? And if you don't know how we can conclude it, so in ethics it's very very good that we can conclude the answer with the quotes, right? So this is the benefit of the ethics paper, right? So you should mention the conclusion part in your answer. So this is the structure, right? So we had discussed about the section A. Now come to the section B. Okay. So in the section B basically it is a part of case study questions, right? So what is the strategy of this part B case study? So there is a never a set question for a case study. right? There is never a set question for a case study. The idea should be to learn from the format, right? So which kind of format mostly we get in the question, in a case study question? So first one is your actors, second is dilemmas, answer body, points, uh, keywords, theory, diagram, and conclusion, right? So this is the format to write a case study answer. How you can start with their actors, means in the story, in the case study, how many actors is there, right? Suppose a story of a gram panchayat, a case study of a gram panchayat, right? So the gram panchayat person, right? The policeman, the state person, the um, villagers, so they are the actor of this case study. Okay, so first you have to mention the actor's name in your case study while you are start writing your answer in the case study. In this case, you first have to mention the actor's name. Okay, then move to the dilemma. They read the case study, understand what's the dilemma is going on this case study. So based on that, mention the dilemma. So in this case study, this is the dilemma, right? Conflict of interest is a dilemma in this case study, maybe, or some other dilemma is there also, right? So you have to mention the dilemma. Then come to the answer body. Okay. In this answer body, sometimes question is based on the ethical conflict or ethical points, right? So you have to mention the points based on the question demand. Then come to the keywords. Keywords is very important. Like you have to mention that what you are getting from entire case study, right? So mention that keywords. Then come to the theory. So through this theory we can handle this kind of situation. Through this theory we can handle this kind of situation, we can overcome of this dilemma, right? To mention that theory. And then come to the diagram and conclude it. So this is the format of your section B case study. Yeah, for listening this kind of format without seeing any PDF or things, it's a bit difficult. But don't worry. Okay, don't worry. Uh, the case study part is very easy part in the ethics paper rather than theoretical part. Okay, so when we are going to solve the case study, we will learn how means what why it is easy. See, the 80% of the answer you can copy paste, right? The format basically. The 20%, like mention the dilemma and the theory and the solution. So this is the different for every case study. So only you have to work on this part, this 20% part. Rest of the format are same for every question. So that's why the case study question are very easy according to the part A, that is a theoretical or analytical question, right? So what do you do that in this? We had discussed the format of the section B, right? So now try to provide the practical solution in your answer. Means ideal solution. If unworkable, would not fetch you marks, right? So give out of the box, get practical solution, right? Try to provide a specific solution. Avoid the generalized solution. Don't give the generalized solution here. Okay. Try to give the specific solution. Right? For example, uh, to illustrate, don't say, "I would take a step to promote transparency." Don't mention this thing. Even you can mention that how you would promote the transparency. Getting my point? So how you can promote the transparency, it is not a generalized. But if you are saying I would take this step to promote the transparency, it means वही घिसा पिटा वही चीजें फिर से आप लिख रहे हो. So don't do that. Don't write in this manner. Okay. Again, when you are asked to give all the option available to you in the case study, so give even the most undesirable course of action as one of the points. However, don't choose the option. Okay, for example, to illustrate, in case that mention the offer of a bribe to you, so mention that in this case, mention acceptance of bribe as one of the option, but prefer the option that entail rejection of bribe, right? So this entail the rejection of bribe. Okay, rather writing acceptance of bribe in the case is 30, or you can mention that okay, this is the situation to acceptance of the bribe, rather than you can write down rejection of the bribe. Getting my point? So in this way, try to cover your option based question. Okay. uh, I'm giving you one more example which are based on the conflict. Okay. So in the conflict question, suppose let your solution try to balance conflicting option as much as possible. Always you try to balance the conflicting option as much as possible. Means such a balancing may not happen always, but you should try. Consider the example mentioned in the previous point. Okay, and most candidate would say either I shall recommended uh, derecognition of the college because errant college have to be published, or shall I recommend for the regularization of the college because of the future of the student. Rather try to think of a solution that penalize the college and at the same time recuse the career prospects of thousands of students. One such a solution can be allowing already enrolled students to finish their course and recognize their degree while prohibiting any fresh admission or accommodation of the students of such a colleges in other recognized college. So this is the something different answer, or this is the way we can try to balance the conflicting option rather than saying बिल्कुल exact like जो आया suddenly mind में उसको बोल देना. No, it is not like that. Here you can just give the some मीन्स थोड़ा सा बनावटी भी वी कैन से दैट कि थोड़ा सा बनावटी आंसर भी देना पड़े थोड़ा सा. So we can add that points also, right? Okay. Regarding so we had discussed about the strategy. Okay. Regarding the books, so I don't think so that any one book can support the entire syllabus. Okay. So there are multiple books required, or you can follow the notes, right? Even I can provide you the notes. So that notes is based on the previous year question papers and the other books, right? So that notes are sufficient, okay, in my lecture. But still you want to read something else rather than this lecture video, so you can read the ARC fourth report. This is important for the ethics. Or you can follow one more book that is called Ethics in Public Administration. Okay, so this book is written by the Patrick Seren. Okay, and I always recommend to read the basic book first for any subject. So for this ethics, you can follow the NCRT book, NCRT psychology book, right? Class 11, 12. There is no need to cover the entire chapters, but selected chapters is there, which is helpful in our ethics paper. Okay, so this is from my side, recommendation of the sources or book. Rest, if you want to follow any others, you can. You are free, right? So you can follow it. But here I can provide you the PDF notes, entire lectures. So through that lectures content, you are able to solve the question. Okay, right. Uh, so this is the overall. We had completely discussed the strategy here. Now from tomorrow we will start the lecture, right? So in the first lecture we are going to read about the ethics, morality and value. Okay, so this is our chapter for the next class. And till now, thank you so much for this for watching this session, and good night.